Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Some weeks ago, Azimio wrote a letter to ICC, the Hague-based court, requesting the court to start investigations in Kenya over the police killing and maiming of Azimio supporters. That was some few weeks ago. I think about 3 weeks ago. ICC has responded. In this video, I want us to have a look at the response, in which I'll explain why I strongly believe that the response is a very big win to Raila's team and a very big blow to William Ruto's team. In this video, I'll also explain some two issues here, because listening to some William Ruto supporters, they are saying that because the current ICC prosecutor was William Ruto's lawyer, some years back when William Ruto, the likes of Uhuru Kenyatta, were accused of some crimes, Ruto supporters have been saying that because the current prosecutor was William Ruto's lawyer then, he might save William Ruto and his team. That's the first issue I want to address in this video. And then secondly, I also want to talk about this aspect of whether the cases Azimio wants the Hague-based court to investigate. I want to talk about whether those cases, or rather the complaints by Azimio, meets the threshold of ICC. Those are two main issues I want to talk about in this video. But before we do that, let's have a look at the response from Hague as reported by Nation. The International Criminal Court, ICC, has formally received a request by Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition, to investigate the killing and maiming of its supporters by police. The office of the prosecutor told the Sunday Nation that it has the letter detailing individuals the opposition says were killed or wounded by security officers. The office neither confirmed nor denied if the grounds cited meet the threshold for the pretrial chamber to authorize investigations. It cited Article 15 of the Rome Statute that bars it from making comments or sharing details of the information. That's the confirmation. Hague is just confirming receipt of Azimio's letter. And I believe that's a very big win for Raila Odinga. That means that Hague recognizes that Azimio might be having some serious complaints against the government. And I'm saying that because so many cases have been, so many submissions requests have been sent to Hague, but we have never seen Hague responding. Hague responding to this one is seriously telling. Under Article 15 of the Rome Statute, any individual or group may send information, communication on alleged crimes to the ICC prosecutor, who is duty-bound to protect the confidentiality of the information received, the OTP said. The office of the prosecutor, therefore, does not comment on such communications beyond confirming receipt, if the sender has made that fact public. According to Article 15 of the Rome Statute, the prosecutor shall, upon receipt of such communication, analyze the seriousness of the information and may seek additional information from the member state organs of the UN, intergovernmental or non-governmental organizations. In the event the prosecutor concludes that there is a reasonable basis to proceed with an investigation, the office shall, the office shall submit to the pretrial chamber a request for authorization. If the pretrial chamber considers that there is a reasonable basis to proceed with an investigation and that the case appears to fall within the jurisdiction of the court, it shall authorize commencement of the investigation without prejudice to subsequent determination by the court with regard to the jurisdiction and admissibility of a case, says section 4 of the article. In this video, as usual, I want us to dig deep into that for Kenyans to understand in simple terms what that means politically. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's proceed. Yes, I believe that's a very big win for Raila Odinga and a blow to William Ruto's team, because in the past weeks, we saw a very brutal government, a government unleashing unnecessary force on innocent, peaceful demonstrators. The mere fact that Hague has confirmed receipt and even responded, that is going to humble William Ruto's government a bit. In that, going forward, they might not use the kind of force we saw them using during the past weeks, because they now know that ICC, they are on the radar of ICC. They are going to cool down a bit. So that's a big win to Raila's team. And then to the issue of Khan being William Ruto's lawyer, that he might favor William Ruto, because listening to some William Ruto supporters, those are the kind of talks they are saying. In fact, the mere fact, let me put it this way, the mere fact that Khan was William Ruto's lawyer, that alone, in my honest opinion, should scare William Ruto. In that, Khan will try to prove a point. Khan will try to project himself as not being partisan. So that can work against William Samoei Ruto. And I'm saying that based on even some things, or rather some issues we've even seen and witnessed in Kenya. The Chief Justice Martha Koome is believed to have been a very close and long-time friend of Martha Karua. When Azimio took its case to the Supreme Court, William Ruto's team, especially Senior Counsel Ahmed Nasir, was very loud in saying that the court was already compromised, going by the fact that Martha Karua and Martha Koome were long-time friends. I strongly believe that Martha Koome had to prove a point that she's not actually partisan. So that even forced Martha Koome to go to the extreme of even making a very unjust kind of a judgment just to prove a point. I'm seeing a very high possibility where that can also apply to the prosecutor Khan. Khan, in trying to prove a point, might actually satisfy, or rather certify, that Azimio's complaint actually is worth being investigated, in which he will present the matter to the pretrial chamber. And I personally believe if he does that, the pretrial chamber will most definitely just confirm that. And also, if you look at Uhuru Kenyatta and the current Chief Justice Martha Koome, It's also believed that Uhuru Kenyatta single-handedly forced Martha Koome to be the Chief Justice. There were stronger candidates, but what did Martha Koome do? She had to prove a point. So the fact that Khan was William Ruto's lawyer, that alone should worry William Ruto and his team. On the second issue is the complaint by Azimio warrants ICC intervention. From where I sit, it warrants ICC's intervention. And the reason is simple. The government of the day cannot investigate itself and prosecute itself. And I'm saying that because Azimio's, if you go through Azimio's complaint, and even in some other documents they will submit privately, they have talked about the raid at Uhuru Kenyatta's Northlands farm, where the police literally never intervened. And if you listen to top government leaders, listening to Kimani Ichung'wah and Ndindi Nyoro, even Rigathi Gachagua himself, that Northlands farm raid clearly implicates them. So that alone shows that that was a government-sponsored attack. Look at that, look at Raila Spectre International, and then you look at the burning of a church and a mosque in Kibra. Those are not simple issues. Those are very weighty issues that warrants ICC's intervention, because all those attacks are being seen as government-sponsored. When a church and a mosque are set ablaze, it means the entire Kibra community was affected as a result of that. We also saw houses being torched. People were displaced. Several Kenyans were killed. Thousands maimed. We also saw one being killed in Kisumu. Instead of the government taking action, the Inspector General himself was actually pressing that rogue police officer. We saw a lot of police brutality. All this confirms that all these were government-sponsored attacks. So the government cannot investigate itself or even prosecute itself. And looking at our courts again, the courts are also seemingly compromised. And even before a case reaches the courts, is the government to do the investigation, to arrest and even to do all that? Can a government that has sponsored all that actually do the investigation properly? I strongly believe that the cases or have the complaint by Azimio to ICC warrants ICC's intervention. And I won't be wrong to say that anything is possible in this case. We might find even maybe Khan requesting for more evidence, or he can actually certify the complaints and forward them to the pre-trial chamber. And with what Kenya went through in 2007, and now that one of the main suspects, the suspects, William Ruto himself, was taken to Hague. Now that is actually the boss. And we are seeing all these patterns of state-sponsored terror. Something tells me very strongly, ICC will take these complaints by Azimio very seriously, going on the track record of William Ruto some years back. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. If you want to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.